Hello. My name's Tiem and I'm a law abider. There's nothing I like more than getting fired up on beer, and when the weekend's here I exercise my right to get paralytic and fight. Good bloke, fairly. But I get well leery when geezers look at me funny. Bouncing around like bummies. Very excited about the streets end of August. I grew up with the streets, you know. The first song I ever cried at... The first song I ever cried to was Dry Your Eyes. Because when I was on top of the pops, and the end scene was the dog, and the dog was sad. And I remember crying. My mum was like, what's going on here? Grew up with the streets. I used the streets as inspiration for my media studies and got an A. Got a team an A. And they're fantastic. They are great. Nice little post-show end of summer lineup. We got Wireless. Loving the Wireless memes, by the way. The ones in particular at Penn's High Street are really making me laugh. Like when the acts do a wrong turn and end up in Penn's High Street. Obviously, I grew up in Penn, so no real issues for me down there. No, if it gets tasty. No. Grew up on a council estate in Sydenham, moved to Penn's, you know. I've been, watch yourself around me. And then we've got Sultan as well, which should be good. And potentially an Ibiza trip, end of August. That's a decaf coffee from Coffee Mod. For the life of me, I can't tell the difference between that and normal. Like from the taste, from the smell, they've absolutely smashed that. The reason why I'm having a decaf coffee is on a lower day is so that I can kind of ramp up the caffeine a little bit on the pre-workout. And in today's episode, I'm going to take you through like a walkthrough, like we did with the push. Tuesday's push session was a little tentative after Ryan's pec tear. God bless, wishing you a speedy recovery, my friend. I remember competing with Ryan as a junior and looking at him backstage and thinking, Jesus, this kid's got crazy potential, but an absolutely horrendous tear, that. Absolutely horrendous. Josh Bridgman sent me the footage on Larry's Instagram, and I shit you not, for about 5 minutes I sat in my bed cold, like white, just completely. I felt, oh my God. He said in his story, usually there's a small bit of muscle that's still attached to the bone where you can reattach the pec, but it completely gone. I mean, you even see in the footage his chest go up to here. Oh, fucking hell. I really hope that has not ended his career. Like I said, crazy potential. Anyway, I'm going to go for my walk now, and I'll see you at breakfast. Bang on the medallions at the moment. But a nice little top up for those at breakfast that require a little bump in protein. 2 slices of bacon medallions, 10 grams of protein, gram of fat and hardly any carbs. So a nice little addition to something like an egg white omelette. I cut them up, put them in the egg white omelette, fold it over, a little bit of sriracha sauce. Very nice, all good fuel. I'm bringing back an OG combination. We've got a little Utopia, little 2 gram Utopia. I believe the company's now been sold. I haven't spoken to Benesco in a long time. I hope you're doing well. So God knows if you can get your hands on Utopia still. But the combination is Utopia and MV Pre. I don't know what happens synergistically with the two, but it is unrivaled, unparalleled levels of focus, performance. It is fantastic. I know, hold, calm down. Before you start asking me where you can source Utopia, I spoke to Ben Escrow tonight, and I do believe they're reformulating or rebranding. So once I have some more clarity on the situation, I can potentially speak to Danny and get distributing again, because it's one hell of a nootropic. That one of my most favourite cognitive enhancers. It really is. Nice little addition to pre-workouts to give you that tunnel-like vision, and equally as good for those elongated bouts of time at the computer. Like on a rest day, for example, I have a scoop in the morning and I'm locked in for hours. But welcome to another training video. We've gone through our push workout. The link will be above. This is our lower B our second leg session for the week, and each lower session has some form of top up. So Monday, we've got 3 sets of lat pull downs. Thursday, we've got 3 sets of cuff lateral raises. Just add a little bit more volume to those areas across the week. And when we go back on April 12th, that frequency will go from 4 to 5 days per week. So we won't be in that position. But we don't have an adduction machine at 7R, so that's the particular setup that I'm using. Having a weight on the opposing foot to increase that stability, cuff around the ankle, and then going through the particular movement. You may want to potentially bring that cuff closer to the knee joint, but I've become accustomed to where it's situated at the moment. Then we go straight into our RDLs. Now, as you know, I've reset about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and now we're on a really nice upward path of progression, 184.8. So we're hunting down. I think we'll be in a position where we can probably still have enough food in the system, anabolics, and push close to that 200. I'd love to get that 200 for 8 on prep. That'll be a real big achievement for me. But it takes me a while. You know, neurologically, mechanically, it takes me about 4 or so weeks to get used to or get back used to the RDL. But once I'm in, I absolutely love it. The back offset was 154. Let me just check my G drive. I do apologise. 154.12. So we started this 160 for 8, and then it dropped, and then we reset from 140, 150, 170, 180. So really nice progression with this movement. I feel more comfortable at the moment doing them in Converse. Had a few weeks where I was doing them barefoot, but when that load increases, I feel slightly more stable with that flat-soled Converse. So into some line hamstring curls. What I've done here is I've just placed one of these pads. Now, someone asked in the previous video what size pad it is. It's from Bulldog Gear, I think. It's probably about 30 centimeters by 30, 40 centimeters, and it's kind of domed in the curve. Just putting the pad underneath my quads here, just to allow me to brace a little better. And what you'll see is when the hamstrings are in that lengthened position, is I'll squeeze those glutes, almost like imagining tucking in those hips in, ensure that we are applying as much stimulus for those hamstrings as possible. It's a very awkward machine, this, and the amount of force, particularly in that lengthened position, it isn't very kind. That pad's also helping alleviate some stresses through the knees here as well. But it's when I'm used to the prime line hamstring curl, which just matches perfectly, and you go into this, it does take a few weeks to get used to. Then we go on to our leg press. So again, leg pressing twice a week. Our Monday session, we've got slightly more intent on those hamstrings and glutes. And then on Thursday session, we narrow our foot position and bring them further down the pad a little bit and get as much quad intent as possible. Just upon reviewing this this video here, that green band is not doing too much, I'll be honest. Probably more beneficial if I were to wrap that green band around the actual foot pad, because it's only really kicking in there, and where it's at, it's not dropping off too much. But the Watson leg press is something that I've really enjoyed over the past kind of 7-8 weeks, and I'm gonna miss it when I go back. But I said to Gigi the other day, I'm hoping that because this Watson equipment is so heavy, I almost get this like super compensation effect, and when I go back onto a Prime or a Cybex, for example, I'll be relatively strong or stronger than I was. And we've got a session in Cambridge with Josh and Joe coming up this Sunday, so I'm very excited, and that'll mean it's only one more week before we go back in. So it's a nice little break up, nice little injection of motivation for us all. For sets and reps on that leg press, it was 1 set 8 to 10, 1 set 10 to 14, and then we go on to some split squat work, and these are horrendous. Callum has programmed a 2-second pause, which is brutal. I think Callum put in his programming notes, this will suck, and it does suck, but it's a good suck, you know. It's one thing I learned when training legs over the last 6 months. When the pain starts kicking in, there's a few more. We don't stop. But those that are watching that particularly that haven't maybe had this program before, or they want to try it out, I'd advise start on a Smith machine, kind of get used to where we're focusing our intent. Quad, glute, little glute, quad, and then maybe move to a sissy bar. Sissy bar split squats are one of my most favourite. But upon looking at this footage, I'm quite happy. I'm feeling I You know, from a physique standpoint, I think we've done enough work to kind of hold our own on stage this year, in the leg department in particular. Once they start to come in, that condition comes through over the next 10 weeks, I think we'll be able to see the work that we've done, me, Josh and Joe, all together. And, you know, I'm excited. I really am. I think the overall balance looks a lot better compared to that PC outing. Just finishing with some calf raises. Twice a week, I've got one seated and one standing, just ensuring that we get a nice squeeze and pause in both that shorten and lengthen position. You know, no jumping up and down, no bouncing here. Leave the ego at the door for calf work. It's one of the most butchered movements alongside a bent over row maybe. So really take your time with these. Make love to it, you know. Make love to your calf movements. It's time for our evening treat. I need to come up with a name. We all have our little nuggets of enjoyment on prep. This is mine at the moment. We need sort of Luke Johnson inspired this. Hope you're well, young Luke. 150 grams of 0% fat Fage Greek yogurt. We're running with 75 gram of granola and 25 gram of Frosty. Put my bagel in, and we've got 50 grams of mixed berries. It takes a little bit of layering this, folks. We 100 gram of Greek yogurt in, 75 gram of granola, a bit more Greek yogurt, mush it about together. In goes the Frosties. $25 gram of Frosties. I could just see the haters squirming right now. I can see it. I can actually see it. You're not getting the job done by doing this. Then we finish with a little bit more to top us off.
Oh, you know what time it is? It's Friday. It's Tego Calderón. Excuse me. Un bandelero donde voy. COVID. There's a COVID test centre there actually. And it's a test. Ignacio sent me a very good Spotify playlist. Very good.
They've reunited. Months. Only 2 more weeks and we're back. April 12th, we're all back in. I think we were in aligned sessions. What are we at? 11 a.m? Met in the middle, 11 a.m. So I'm going to start getting up a little bit earlier. Cardio, meal one, and then we'll go and train with the boys. Before we go to Josh's house and teach him how to use the Sage Barista Express, I should be getting a cut. Surely a small slice. There's quite a few of you that have bought that particular machine off the back of my recommendation, and it's not cheap. So if anyone is watching that either works for Sage or has some form of line of communication with management, if you could put in a word, 10% I'm fine with. I'm happy with 10% per sale. What I'm going to do is I'm going to release the How to Grow Your Arms video that me and Gigi filmed for the Level Up series on the TM Cycles member site back where we were at Smash Fitness. So in that particular video, we went through a sort of introduction into the areas where I feel that have contributed to developing my arms over the past 5 to 6 months. And then I also take you through the session itself where we kind of break down exercise selection for both triceps and biceps. So I'll put that up later on this week. But just to address a couple of questions regarding arm volume, it seems to be quite a reoccurring question both on Instagram and YouTube. The 5 to 6 month off season that we had with Josh and Joe was probably the lowest amount of volume for my biceps and triceps. So it was, if I were to collate across the week, it would have been about 10 sets for biceps and 10 sets for triceps. And what we did, we just focused on that accuracy and really built that intensity up with far more warm-up sets for biceps and triceps. But the execution for those top sets for the biceps and triceps were executed to the absolute perfection. But like I said, I go through a lot more information and detail within that sort of topic of how to grow your arms in the member site video. So I'll probably upload that on Friday. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. Right, let's go to Josh's house.
It's all at home. Gloucester. I got my laptop.
You got an ensuite in the office?
Yeah.
Come on.
Don't know what to
Come on, you look wide on this lens as well, you know.
Right in the corner.
Do a Brandon Harding stand right in the corner. There we go, that's it. Tricks of the trade. What have we got today? El Salvador. El Salvador. Grind size 5? Yeah. Yeah. Big coffee on a rest day. It's what's needed. First meal goes in at 1:30. The rest days are the hard days. 2,200 and something calories, I think. 2,240 calories at 10 weeks out, which is daunting because you think, fucking hell, and then you just go, it's alright, it's just 10 weeks plus a few more weeks for the next show. So first meal goes in at about 1:30, just to, well, we're essentially intermittent fasting. Otherwise, if I were to have my breakfast early on a rest day, then I'm going through quite large chunks of the day without any food. So I'd rather just prioritise cardio, steps, get a big coffee in, get some additional 5-HTP in as well to help with that appetite suppression. Go for a food shop, and then by that time, 1:30 I can eat, then 3:34 I can eat, 6-ish, 9-ish, and then I can go to bed. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little insight into the second lower session. Like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the members site video that me and Gigi did on Friday. So for those wondering what areas we focused on to bring the arms up this year, tune in. I feel a bit out of it. Prep is here. I'll see you very soon. Thank you again, much love.